We just start the show.
Unbelievable. And welcome to another exciting episode.
Oh, Feel It Real Fun.
Oh my God, can you believe
On
how
our
exciting
5th
this
of
is
February
going to be?
2021.
You know what? The year is 1/12 over plus.
It is.
I'm curious how many people are still dicking around. It's like, I'm just going to dick around for another month, another year. Another opportunity slips past. Yo, Triple D Cassidy,
Hello,
Triple D
Cassidy.
Joe, yo.
Hello,
Triple D Terry
Terry
Morris.
Yes.
Triple D kids are here.
Yes.
By the way, almost full. Triple D people. If you
Oh,
want
good one.
in,
I was wondering how it was going.
dreamdrivenday.com. Right?
Cool. Excellent.
Boom. Right?
So this is your manifesting
Yes, you wanna
questions answered
Talk
live.
to me about it. Elizabeth, Triple, Syzzle, yo. Dicking around.
That's right. They are.
So,
Go to freeneville.com.
221 email
list.
pseudo random goodness.
That's
Till one
it.
of us dies.
That's it.
That's right.
Join our 90-day adventure at Manifesting Mastery. Cortes.com.
Yeah. 15 to 25, half a donut, yada, yada, yada. It's $1 a day. Oh my God, it's hard-earned money.
It is. No, it's not hard. It's easy money. And for refunds, visit our YouTube channel, feelitrealfun.com.
.corn. Yep, realfun.corn.
Scott says, hey.
Yo,
Tori,
Syzzle,
hey,
yo.
Victoria,
Bum,
yo.
bum. So,
So, is that good?
yep.
And join us in Dream Driven Day if you want to
Yeah,
join.
if you want to get in,
you
get
need to
in.
email
like,
20
Yep, get
right
in.
now
Yeah,
while we're on
go
the show.
there or email me, do something
Yes.
because, anyway.
Okay.
Right.
So-
Yo, Uma's in. Uma.
Oh, is
Uma
she?
Shaga. Mm-hmm.
Oh, welcome
yeah.
back.
Welcome back. I always like the second and third and fourth and fifth timers.
Yeah, I
It's just
know.
like,
It's nice.
oh, yeah.
So we dive in with our question.
Let's dive in with their questions.
Okay, so the first question's from Christian in Manifesting Mastery.
You're on the edge of the screen.
Oh, okay. Hang on, I'll chuggle over.
Plus, like whenever
Seeing
you're
as it's
close
a
to
long
me,
show,
like
he
I
likes
just
it.
like it. Yo, Jerry. Hi, Jerry. What's up with you, Jerry? Jerry.
Okay. First question.
By the way, you guys that are on Clubhouse, follow him,
Who? Christian.
Jamaica.
Jamaica.
All right.
Okay.
Next.
Right. The first
Dramatic
question.
pause. Let me adjust this down a little tiny bit because you'll be off the screen by the end of the show. All right. Yo, Amber, Triple people. Go.
The first question is from Christian in Manifesting Mastery.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we do Feel It Real sessions? Christian asks, what is the link between a Feel It Real session and the states that we want to be in? It seems to me that we do our sessions so we can remain in the state of the wish fulfilled more easily. Am I right?
No. It's not why I do them. Like, so my job, as far as I can tell, is to strip things down to their absolute simplifiability-ness, like as simplificated as I can get things. And then once we get there, to start exploring the layers, right?
Yes.
So this is a peek into 20s world, right? Fucking dogs. Anyway, yo, Triple D Tomi. And so, why do I do Feel It Real sessions? I do them to have an experience, right?
Yes.
So, like, I'll experience, like this morning, I made a Victoria proposal, right? and it was like salmon with asparagus,
Oh,
right?
I thought it was
So-
you get the matic and I'll do it. Oh, sorry.
Well, that too, right? So she went and got automatic for me, so I
Yes.
could dig a little trench, right,
Yes.
for the show. But but this is how fast it is, because I imagined a little trench dug, right, and asked Victoria if she'd grab the medic for me just to save me the time, right? That way I can get the show set up and so on and so forth, because I've already imagined a kick-ass show. I've experienced a kick-ass show.
Yes.
And I also this morning experienced salmon with asparagus and some mushrooms. I didn't even tell you about the mushrooms. And you said,
So you say
what do
you
think?
experienced these were Feel It Real sessions, what we call
Totally,
Feel It Real
absolutely,
Yes,
right?
okay.
Now here's the thing, right? When you get like quote unquote a Feel It Real session, I do some formal ones before I get out of bed in the morning. You're like, all right, what do I want to do today? A specific events of my day already haven't gone my way. Is that right? Yeah, like I want to do a podcast, and so I experience what would imply having done a great podcast before I get out of bed. Fall back asleep a little bit, and as I'm waking up, what else do I want to do today? I want to get frisky with Victoria. So I imagine like her yum, and then, right, and fall back asleep a little bit, and so on. Now, here's the thing. I do formal sessions every day, and I know some people say you don't have to do them. Well, I've got a pretty good fucking track record, right? And here's the thing. When I was training to be a black belt, I threw 1,000 kicks and punches a day. 1,3 zeros, right? Didn't take long, but 1,000, right? 10 of this one, 10 of that one, 10 of this one, 10 of that one, 10 of this one, 10 of that one. And I became a world-class kicker like Bill Superfoot Wallace, right? On the other hand, I know people that never practice anything. And like Neville said, practice this stuff. This is like scales, right, when you play piano. So why do I do my quote-unquote formal sessions? Because I find I keep discovering more and more tiny bits to play with, like the stuff we play with in DreamDrivenDay.com, right? But more importantly, it enables my quickie sessions, like I can do a session anywhere because I do formal sessions every day. Yeah, it sounds like the dogs are fucking.
Well,
anyway, so we've imagined Frisky in the bed. So why is it when I imagine something, it almost happens? All right. So what do I do sessions? I do sessions for imaginal experience. I do them to play with this stuff, to explore this stuff. So I don't do them to make something happen in the future, and I definitely don't do them, you clubbers. If you're doing your sessions now so you can stay in your state later, that's a war. That's donut, right? On the other hand, if I'm just doing my sessions to have an experience that radiates into my life, boom, right? That's gold. So I just do it to have an experience that eventually becomes physical experience as well. So these guys, I gotta tell you. All right. And so with all that in mind, let's see how this weaves into the other answers and questions, Victoria.
Okay, all right. So that was from Christian. Thank you very much for your question.
Boom. By the way, to stay in my state longer, that's always a war. What did Neville say? Okay, where? Right? Dwelling place. Where? The place that you most commonly return to, the state that you most commonly return to. That's your dwelling place. And in your dwelling place, you're going to do things, right? In my dwelling place, I've got desires. All of you guys.
Cool.
So.
Can I just ask?
Yes.
Where is the camera? Which side?
It's right in the middle there.
No, it's not.
No, it's right there.
Okay, cool. All right, because just talking with you guys.
1,000 shows later, where's the camera?
No, but I didn't know which way the iPad, because if you do it...
I always do it that way. That way if we read a comment, it doesn't look like we're doing this. Because if it was the other way, and Joe Weldon says, and it just gets freaky as fuck, right? And then Joe Weldon says, versus, and Joe Weldon says, see, I'll look at the comments there.
Yes, very good. I can see that.
I learned me this.
Learn me.
Learning is behavior change.
All right, excellent.
More on that later.
The next question's from Syzzle in Dream Driven Day.
Yo.
How to scan for different. Syzzle asks, scanning for different. Oh, scanning for the same to scan for different. I'm not doing that anymore. What is scanning for different like for you? Thank you, Tony and Victoria.
Cool. I love, like I said, I like to make things as simplificated as possible. And then drill down as much as I can.
Yes.
Right into the multiple layers of the onion. So here's what I noticed. Like a lot of people, the people that don't like onions and garlic tend to experience them as the same.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say men and women, they're the same. I got news for you, right? Lovely fellow at the pool, we'll call him the shark. Not into him, right? He's into me, I'm not into him. But you know what I'm into?
Women. Sorry, shark.
Woman's. Right? I'm into this woman's.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
Yeah. Boom. Right?
I love how you call him the shark, because it's at the swimming pool.
He swims
and
around.
Apparently he swims around 20 like this.
Oh, God. Hey, you shark. Right. Nice guy, really lovely guy, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's like, like he's got different tastes than I do, right? I mean, like, and that's fine. I mean, some people like Pischetti.
Pischetti.
Yeah, I'm not big on Pischetti. I mean, when you go out, there's too much water on the plate, one little meatball, a little half a scoop of sauce. Like, what's that sauce fucking costing you, right?
Yeah.
Get the water off my plate and put an extra scoop of sauce on there.
Get the water off. Okay.
I know they say it's traditional. No, it's called lazy. Really?
Okay.
Anyway.
So scanning for different.
Yep. Yeah, I'm demonstrating it.
I've got you.
Yeah. Yeah. So you'll notice that I don't really answer questions.
No.
I just
true.
experience things, and end of line. So that's what I'd do. Like, always be noticing. Where do you settle? Oh, that's a dog, right? Does the dog have hair or fur? Right? Real simple question. A lot of people don't realize dogs can have hair or fur. Right?
Yeah.
Fascinating, right?
Yes.
I remember the day I figured that out. I was like, God damn. So I
Yeah.
go down the road, fur, hair, fur, bald.
Now it's silver fox.
So
hair.
the fun ends whenever you go, dog. The fun continues when you go, huh, hair, fur, hair. And then you realize, oh, dogs with hair tend to have dongles, right? Emmett had a dongle this morning.
He
So
did.
as long as you're scanning for difference, the fun continues, right? So I look at her. It's like, we're different. Damn.
We are
I wonder what else I
different.
can discover, because if I'm scanning for difference, I'm always discovering things. Versus if I go,
Yeah.
ready? It's Victoria.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's end of
Yeah.
everything.
She's a Leo. It's my wife, the Leo.
Yeah.
Right? I've made her the same as something. Scanning for differences in her. Another way to scan for differences. Get it? Guys, sounds like we're perverts.
It does.
Anyway, all right. Let's see how this goes into the next question. Syzzle, thanks, buddy. Boom.
Okay, cool.
Dawn is here too.
Thanks,
Yo.
Syzzle.
And then scratch my itch. All right.
The next question's from Ella on Facebook,
Oh, I didn't give you a title.
and we haven't got a title. So Ella asks, for me it is difficult to manifest and feel something real or it come true.
Yeah, you're doing good.
I'm doing good. and other questions sometimes. I'm thinking about my wish coming true, feeling is happening, but I fall asleep. I wonder, is that normal?
Cool. I'm not sure what you know. So I don't know what you don't know, which is sort of tough. So I got to suggest, make sure you're doing exactly what we teach in easymanifestingmethods.com. And, just definitely get those 6 videos in the daily email, but also you can get quick little summaries of what's on those videos at Neville Goddard's toolbox.com. So I mention all that just because I find feeling it real exceptionally easy if I let it be about me in my personal experience. So like whenever I imagined a lunch today, and it was like, right, salmon, asparagus, mushrooms. I don't tell her about the mushrooms, remember this. But I experience her yum, and then I bring it up. And I don't do that to manipulate her into salmon, right? Yeah, she said something earlier in the day, and I thought, well, let me just approach, this is what popped in my head, right? And so I say, how about salmon and asparagus instead of sushi? And she's done. And then when we go to the shop, she goes, hey, what do you think about mushrooms? It's like, well, I didn't even tell her about mushrooms, but I already imagined them. So it's like that easy. But it all comes down to this. I don't imagine the conversation about the mushrooms. I don't imagine really much about the meal. I just like, yum. I experience her yum. And boom. So that to me makes it easy. And like I mentioned in the earlier questions, when I'm waking up in the morning and I'm experiencing specific events of my day already having gone my way, and I imagine of having made a yummy podcast, and I fall asleep in that feeling, cool, I wake back up, it's like, all right, cool, what else can I nail before I get out of bed? Boom. You get it?
Yeah.
So that's where I'd play. That's what I would consider useful. Is it normal? I don't know. I notice a lot of people struggle with this because they make it hard, or they make it about the wish, or they make it about what happens to get to the wish, versus right. So clubbers.
Cool.
All right. Let's see how this works into the other questions and answers, Victoria.
Okay.
Nobody's bothered thanking me for anything today, but that's
Well,
fine.
one thing I was just wanting to say, because I know some people, with doing Feel It Real sessions, there's been like here, Ella was saying, then she falls asleep. and some people say, and then I can't, I'm so alive. Do you know what I mean? And really the feel it real, I noticed you just said you do a session and then fall asleep. And
or get up. Yeah.
Or get up, yeah, because it's not
yeah.
that we need to fall asleep. In fact, we want to be awake during our feel it real sessions, don't we?
Yeah, focused. Yeah, that's sleepy yet focused.
Focused stage, yes. So I just thought I'd mention that because I wasn't quite sure with her question. Feeling is happening but fall asleep, and so I didn't know if she felt that was a negative, and so.
Yeah, do you feel like you nailed it? Like when I wake up, like I'm doing the hey Dave, triple D yo. So I nailed the podcast thing and I fall back asleep. I don't wake up and go, oh fuck, did I nail the podcast thing? Now I know I've nailed the podcast thing because I've already, when I'm waking up, I'm getting podcast ideas. So yeah. But watch how this fits in with another question.
Okay, excellent.
It will.
All right, so that was for Ella. Thanks for your question.
Because Victoria brought up a good point.
Oh, amazing. The next question's from Dream Driven Day Tomi. Scripted feelings, question mark.
Quit fucking the pillow.
And it stopped.
Yeah, apparently we know what that means.
So, well, actually, maybe I'll start again, really. That's probably better that that's not in the first minute of that. So the next question's from Dream Driven Day Tomi. Scripted feelings, question mark. So Tommy asks, so I noticed in a podcast you spoke about harnessing the power of spontaneous utterance, or just spontaneous in general. And I noticed that sometimes script the feeling of the wish fulfilled, like feeling that I sometimes script the feeling of the wish fulfilled, like feeling happy or some feeling I think I should feel, instead of letting it be spontaneous. How can I let the feeling of the wish fulfilled be spontaneous?
So I only have a few feelings that I feel every day, right? So I mean, there's this joyful, hey, you know, like I get to see her and like go to the dog park and Bruce was a good boy.
Yes,
right?
I used to.
And you'll notice that, well, I go to the pool and it's funny, when I first went back to the pool, it was pretty overwhelming for me because I love those people, you know? And I walk in and I see some old friends. I see some are a little thinner, most are a little fatter, some are a little hairier like me.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. We talked a little bit, and I might toss this into a course at some point, or at least, hey.
Oh.
But you don't have to fuck the pillow, right? I know you're all wound up.
And you can't get through.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So here's what I want you to notice. This goes back to Syzzle's question. We have this really generic feeling called happy.
Yeah.
A little more complex is this feeling of nostalgia. What's nostalgia? You're sort of looking back, like happy you're going, sad you're leaving, all the memories I'll be carrying forward, versus happy to get off this island, right? So I would just start scanning for complexity of feelings, complexity of experience. Because this really gets simple when your experience gets a little more full, which is why we do like the 4 happy chemicals, the 4 pillars of power, and Dream Driven Day, Caress commercial, along with some other things. When you add some in with the gates and so on, it just gets not complicated, but it gets to be a more real experience. Like my happy when I see her is different than my happy whenever Bruce was a good boy at the dog park today when the dog walked up to him. Right, strange dog. So it's a complex feeling. It's like I said, I'm happy Bruce was a good boy. I'm happy to see Victoria, but they're 2 different happies.
Yeah.
So I would explore that because that's always spontaneous. So.
Yes.
How cool is that? Scanning for difference.
Yeah, I was thinking that,
Syzzle.
definitely. Yeah, that's a goodie. Goes back to Syzzles with Scan for Different. I really like that.
Look at those 2.
Cool.
Goofballs. All right. Why do they keep pumping my pillow?
Thank you. And thank you, Tommy, for your question.
All right. Trader Joe's has the best chocolate milk, end of line. Thank you, Joe Weldon. Now, guess what? Everyone else in the world, Janisha, whoa, boom, cool. Message me. So, yeah, Trader Joe's, best chocolate milk in the world, according to Joe Weldon, end of line.
So is it Trader Joe's, what we've got near
No, we've got Farmer Joe's.
Joe's.
Yeah, Farmer
yeah,
Joe's.
okay, all right. And was that...
it was
Jake that said...
Oh, sorry, Jake.
Yeah, not Joe.
All right, Jake Woolley, Joe Weldon. Interesting, isn't it? Scanning for difference. Scanning for the fucking same. I see a J and a W. All right, cool. All right. Jake Weldon, Joe.
Jake Weldon. Joe Woolley.
Joe Woolley. Joe Woolley. All right.
Okay.
It's funny because Joe never struck me as a chocolate milk kind of guy. That's probably why that really stuck out when I was scrolling through. I thought it was him.
And Jake Woolley does?
Oh, yeah, Jake. Fuck me.
Seems like a chocolate milk
When I think chocolate milk, I mean, I don't scan for differences. I go, chocolate milk, Jake. Just, boom.
That's right. They're both JWs.
That's right.
Cool. In fact, the next question is for you, Jake.
Yo.
Dream Driven Day, Jake. Focus hacks. Jake asks, any games, tips or thoughts on increasing attention or focus as it can be, so it can be exclusively on the feeling of I am.
I am he.
Oh, I am he only, and not all over the fucking place.
I used to stare at candles.
Yes.
Yeah. I used to also stare at teenage girls. That was like back when I was in high school, right?
Legs.
but yeah, we've talked.
Legs again?
Yeah, we've talked about geometry, right? Geometry, little trigonometry. Like I just love. I mean, like I figured out trigonometry by basically using girls' legs, right? Because if you get to square the hypotenuse of a right triangle and you put that on the legs, right, it just gets utterly fascinating to me. Yeah, Tony Truitt's legs versus Sweeney legs versus. Who's that hot little tart? Mercy.
Hot little tart.
Hot little tart legs, right?
Cherry, was it?
So the candle thing, right?
Yes.
Now, when most people stare at a candle, they're just staring at the same thing, the same thing, the same thing, the same thing, the same thing. But if you're staring at the candle and you're noticing differences,
scanning for different, yeah, right.
And you're just noticing how
there's a little flick to the right. And one to the left.
I spent like a year and a half studying one raccoon track. I walked through a mud puddle near the Louvre in East Park in Connellsville. And fortunately, it was an area that I didn't get walked through a lot. So I watched this raccoon track for like a year and a half. It would rain, it would snow, but I had the raccoon track measured out so I could tell exactly where it was based on features on the land. So I just stared at this raccoon track for like a year and a half. I did take breaks. It was only a few minutes a day. But I watched how it degraded and changed. And when a little kid walked through it, how I could still see it superimposed underneath the little kid's thing, right? The thing defined as footprint. End of line. But here, just being clear, right? So if you're scanning for difference, right? I am he, I am that. Whatever your like stated that whatever the experience is. Remember, your awareness of being is God. That's unconditioned, and it's always being conditioned, right? So if you just notice, like right now, I'm primarily loving teacher, loving husband, a little bit of loving puppy dad. You know, quote unquote, pause, quit fucking the pillow, unpause, right? So I've got these different states, but I am he, I am that. Just the general unconditioned I am is always conditioning. You're always moving into different, right? So if you want an exercise, stare at a candle, but scan for difference while you do it. Back in high school, I noticed all the different ways the girls were different. It wasn't like it was one girl, right? You know, there were 104 people, I think, in my graduating class. Right? If half of them were girls, that would be 52. They weren't all the same. That's what made it delightful, right? Easy to look at the different ones. If they were all the same, like, yep, there it goes. But, yeah, 7 of 9. So, all right.
7 of 9.
Who here thinks she looks like 7 of 9? Gotta look at the camera.
7 of 9.
All right. So,
Okay.
Boom.
Excellent. So that was for Jake. Thank you very much.
Here's one of the most fascinating things, right? You ever see a girl, Jake, she's got all the right bits, all the right proportions, but when it moves, it's just not connected all that well? See, I could stand there and go, wow, how is that even possible? Right? so again, skinning for differences, it's like, yep, there's a hot chick, there's a hot chick, there's a hot chick, but what the fuck happened to it? I mean, it just doesn't move right?
Yeah.
It needs to find its core. So how could I help it find its core? Does it need a... suddenly something wakes up. But more on that later. Internal Kung Fu.
Cool.
That's right. So.
Good one, Jake. The next question is from Dream Driven Day Tomi. Sensations...
We should have done Jake's question twice to see what his attention span is. Wouldn't that have been fun?
That would be
yeah,
funny.
my mind's all over the place.
Yeah. The next question is from Dream Driven Day Tommy. Sensations in the body and feeling it real. Tommy asks, when diving into Neville's second question, I notice sensations, feelings show up in the body for me instantly. Sometimes in my stomach or chest area as I ask myself these questions. It's as if the body is responding to the questions with these sensations. And I know the body, it's a part of the universe. So fascinating. Your first one was how to be more spontaneous. And here you're allowing your body to be spontaneous, Tommy.
How cool is this? I just love that. So Tommy put up 3 questions, and I sent him a little note saying, hey, can you drop it down to 2? Yeah, because I just want to keep the show moving.
Yeah.
And I'm just imagining that he kept these 2.
Yeah,
and
cool.
It's like, score!
Yeah, excellent.
Double T wins. Sarah, welcome to the show.
So when this happens, is that the beginning of capturing the feeling? I find it weird but interesting at the same time as to why sensations and feelings are showing up in the body when playing with these questions or imagining something only inside sight on this.
Cool. So there's a couple ways to play with this. I'm not going to give an answer, but I'm going to invite you to 2 experiences. Number 1, you remember in Triple D I talked about fighting Lenny, right? Mm. And if I was doing what I would call now a visualization, I would experience what it's like fighting with Lenny, right? And what's going to happen there is there will be body twitches and stuff because I'm imagining punching, kicking, so on and so forth, right? So, on the other hand, if I'm imagining just having kicked Lenny's ass, right? Mm. The state of my wish fulfilled is better luck next time, Lenny. And it's a feeling, right?
Yeah.
Or Lenny just looking at me going,
yeah,
right? That kind of thing. They're both going to lead to different things in my body. Now the cool thing is, both together will have me training, right? So that's the cool thing. So if you notice,
both together. Sorry.
Yeah, the visualization thing of like actually like boom, boom, boom.
Of seeing
of me actually like experiencing fighting Lenny.
Yes.
Right. That we could say that's the wish. But that's an activity that will get me actually moving, right? On the other hand, if I'm imagining just having kicked Lenny's ass again, right?
Yeah.
That's going to have a different physiological thing. So play with both, right? But always remember, if you're feeling it real, it's always go to what implies your wish is fulfilled. Otherwise, I would have never slept because I would have been thinking about geometry and trigonometry and fighting Lenny all at the same time. So like trying to sleep like that. So, boom.
Cool.
Better luck next time, Lenny.
We've gone really dark. I think we've forgotten to put that over there on the side.
It rotated a little bit.
All right.
Yeah, it was,
okay.
We could do that.
It's actually not that dark outside. Yeah. Oh, okay, that's a lot better.
See? I'm amazing. Cool. Everybody, hashtag.
TT's amazing.
TT's amazing. All right.
How many will type that in? Cool. All right. So, yeah, that was for Tommy.
Yes. By the way, your body's inside you. All right, let's look. So here's the thing, right? So I remember when I started getting into the New Age circus, right? And so it's like, and then you realize, wow, right? When I look in the mirror and see myself, I have an aura.
Yes.
Right? Cool, that was fun. I taught my buddy Craig how to see auras. We were down at an internet marketing seminar in Texas, and Craig is not the aura seeing kind of guy. So we're in the back of the room watching our buddy Bill do a talk, and I'm like, see, Bill, you just sort of look a little bit past his ear, a little bit, about 2 inches out, and relax your, and he goes, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
That's called an aura, right? So now here's the thing, ready? Back when I got into the New Age circus, right, it was like, wow, when I look at myself in the mirror, I see that I've got an aura around me, right? Now here's the thing. What you are, your awareness of being, is God. How you are aware of being. I'm aware of being a male, right? 54 years old, going, bam, like me that woman's, right? Not the shark, not into sharks. Love the woman's, right? I love sharks, but I mean, I got friends that are sharks, no big deal. Just to be clear, right? So we go through all that, but it's like what I am, right? Gives life to energy. Some of it can be seen in the form of an aura. What I am gives life to this physical body. The softy skin, the fleshy bits, the hard bones on the inside. It's just like it keeps getting denser. But what I am is what is looking through the eyes. I'm the spark behind it all. I'm the spark that's animating it all.
Radiating. Yeah,
radiating, emanating, right? So here's the cool thing, right? Because it's not that when I look in the mirror, I see that my body has an aura. When I look in the mirror, I see I have an aura. No. That's just, I'm a multi-layered, like what I am gives life to all these multiple layers, right? Oh my God. So it's exactly quote unquote backwards, right? What I am gives life to the subtle, which condenses into the obvious, okay? So more on that later.
Cool.
Who's this itchy today?
Thank you, Tommy, for your question.
Triple D.
I saw earlier he said,
Herb.
boom, got gold or something, so cool.
Yes.
Excellent.
End of line.
End of line. And the last question today is from Cortes on Facebook. I want to be married and I want to be a bachelor.
Wow, chicka wow, wow.
So Cortes asks, question, what to do when you have conflicting desires? For example, I want to be married and in a loving relationship, but part of me wants to have about bachelor-style sexual experiences. How to choose?
My guess is you're probably talking you want to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? And so they don't conflict with each other. But if you try to eat them all at once, things can get interesting.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, but some people, we've got a fella, what's his name? Lovely, lovely black fella. He's got this gorgeous smile. Like,
Tommy.
No, not Tommy. Tommy's gorgeous as well. But this fella's got 2 wives and all this stuff, and it works for him, right? I mean, he's been doing it for a couple of years. He's happy as a clam. Just heard from him the other day.
Cool.
God damn it, what's his name?
Jamaica. No.
Not Jamaica. But anyway, so I mean, he emails me that. I mean, it's working for him. He's having what I would probably consider bachelor-style sex. I mean, like, there's more than one Burger King in town, right? Yeah. Right. So you can have right. Anyhow, geometry, trigonometry, all that stuff that we were talking about earlier. But if that works for you, that works for you. I mean, if you want to go to the all-you-can-eat buffet, you imagine up a life where you have the all-you-can-eat buffet, right? On the other hand, you might be imagining, you know what, I'm imagining, having a great dinner, but I also want to have a great lunch before then. I mean, if we're thinking in sequence here, if that's what you're asking, because I don't know, you're allowed to imagine up a yummy breakfast, a yummy lunch, a yummy dinner. Right? So, to me, that's what's cool. So, Syzzle says, I enjoy all you can eat. That's right. Do not eat the ice chips, right? Eat the food, right?
Apparently. What did you say? Ice chips dehydrate you.
Ice chips, you don't want to eat ice. Dehydrate you. So, you people that are into survival situations, when you get thirsty, right, don't eat ice.
And you're on the top of Mount Everest.
Yeah.
Don't eat it.
Yeah.
To get down.
That's right.
Right. So for Cortes, yes, he felt they were conflicting. I mean, you could just go, have your bachelor existence now. I don't know, or whether, if it's sequential works, one and then the other.
Oh, I mean, odds are. I mean, I don't know if he's seen anybody or anything. But, if you're not engaged to somebody, my guess is you're going to have some bachelor kind of experiences, right?
Well, that's true. And actually, he said he wanted to be in a loving relationship. So, Yeah, you could definitely have loving relationships and have more than one of them.
You could have coffee with a different
Multiples.
girl every morning,
Yeah.
right? After having sex with a different girl all night. But, of course, with the scope ambiguities, this just got really weird for the clubbers.
Yeah.
Right? So does he mean 7?
No, yeah, got ya.
Anyway. But yeah. So
Yeah.
if it's a simultaneous thing, again, you get to notice, like, what's your value system and how does that work? I mean, if that's what you're into, that's what you're into. Your loved one will be as well, if that's what you imagine of.
True.
And if you're talking, breakfast, lunch, dinner, enjoy all three. I can enjoy some coffees, some dinners, and a show. Anyway, what'd Jamaica miss? What'd you make of that, Jamaica? Anyway, how are you?
Cool.
I've got this little thing I used to do, right? So I'd be shopping at the Walmart. We don't have those in Australia, so I can't do that here. But I'd go to the Walmart, and you get the girl that's been there for like 12 hours, making minimum wage, hearing beep all the time. And I'd just walk up and I'd say, before we start, can I ask you a question? Where would your ideal vacation spot, or no, so, I'm sorry. First I'd walk up and I'd say, yeah, Hawaii. What'd you make of this, right? What would your ideal vacation spot be and why? And almost always, because I've just said Hawaii,
Yeah, and
Jamaica.
Hawaii.
Yeah, Hawaii, right?
Yeah.
What'd you make of this, right? Somebody's like, yeah, for some reason I want to go to an island where it's hot and sunny. I hate hot and sunny. It's like, ah! Yep,
Yeah.
phonetic ambiguities, club, end of line.
Cool.
All right.
Okay, so that was our last question.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was from Cortes. Thank you very much for your question, Cortes.
Angela Teresa says Lancaster, Pennsylvania has a super Walmart. They also have, like, Amish people in cornfields, and if you're with your cousin Billy and you belly crawl through with your little 110 camera, remember those? They were about the size of the clicker, right? And you say, Billy, you jump up and yell, and I'll take his photo, right? So Billy jumps up and yells, and I take his photo, and then pretty soon you just see the Amish guy turn around slow and start to chase you with the sickle. So at least that's what we imagined happened. Like, I don't know what happened. We both ran like hell. But anyway, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It's probably where that Walmart is now. Anyway.
Right.
So, Victoria.
The Amish are there a lot, Angela says, at the super Walmart.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, you guys. So, surprisingly short. Was it?
Was it? Triple D, Talia,
True. 40 minutes.
Yeah. We're trying to keep them under 55, because above 55 the editing gets wonky. So.
Okay.
All right.
So what we want to know now is, what was your hashtag
Strawberry bit. Boom.
Mine was the scanning for difference, and how that was seeing Scott Syzzle ask that question, and then
It's
to
his fault.
see it in Tomi's next question, because he was saying, how do I be more spontaneous? Because being spontaneous is all about it being different as well.
Totally.
And then his next one was, well, yeah, so all of that, I love that, scanning for difference. So that's my strawberry bit. What about yours?
My strawberry bit. Boom. Cassidy. Cassidy just said, strawberry bit, the guaranteed win method didn't disappoint for today's show. Cool. I think my biggest thing is going to be this scan for differences thing, but tying it into the first question with the whole thing of, like, before I get out of bed every day, I nail specific events of my day having already gone my way.
Yes.
And even though it's often the same half a dozen things, the imaginal experience is always a little different. It's always a little bit complex. It's a complex feeling. It's not just, I'm happy that I did a great podcast. There's just a feeling of satisfaction that goes with the podcast, which is different than, like, happy, or just having, I had a great day at the dog park. It's a different, quote unquote, kind of happy. So the scanning for difference, but letting that little bit of a complex. So that's my thing.
Cool. So that's our hashtag strawberry bits.
It makes it very umami.
Umami.
That's right.
Complex. Yes. All right. So while you type in or finish typing in yours, go to freeneville.com.
221, email this, pseudo.
Join our 90-day adventure at Manifesting Mastery course.com.
That's right. You know, in the course of a season, half a donut a day, right? 15 to 25 minutes, no excuses. Boom.
And for refunds, visit our YouTube channel, feelitrealfun.com.
That's right. And remember, Triple D, if you went in the February one, register or get in touch with me immediately, right? That's going to finish up. I mean, those are going to fill in over the weekend here. So,
Cool.
Boom.
Okay.
Neighbor says mushroom bit. Ha! Mushrooms.
It's a strawberry
Yum.
bit, mushroom bit.
Yum.
You mentioned mushrooms. I was making food, so I added some.
Yum.
Nice.
We should have a grass-fed butter bit.
A grass-fed butter bit?
Yeah, grass-fed butter bit.
Like a strawberry bit, a grass-fed butter bit?
Yes.
It starts getting too long.
All right.
All right, you guys. Have an ace day, night, weekend.
We'll catch you on the watch party
later.
later. Boom.
Otherwise, next week.
Stella Jim, you have a great weekend too.
Yeah.
See ya.
See yous.